Do it. You're live.
Live?
Yep.
Sweet. All right, we are live once again. This is Mary Truth Talks. We are with Steven Perez once again.
What's going on? What's going on?
How's life, Steven? I'm sure you're very excited, very happy that your favorite president is back in office.
I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. It's about time we go red.
It's about time we have a real person in office.
Or just someone that knows what day it is.
Yeah. I knows how to go down the stairs and up the stairs.
It got annoying real quick, so but hey, we're back.
We're back.
Hopefully, things go the way they're supposed to go. And it's gonna be an interesting 4 years.
I mean, so far so good for a week start, so we'll see.
First 7 days has been
pretty wild.
7 days.
There's so much to talk about.
Days.
It's like I had to literally prioritize what stories to talk about because there was so much. I was like, okay, we can't talk about too much. We only got 2 hours, so we're just gonna get to it, man. All right, before I begin, guys, follow me on Instagram, Mary_Truths, on TikTok. I got my TikTok back. I'm not banned anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so I can't say how I got it back because according to ChatGPT, it's like legal or whatever, and I can't really get into it. But I didn't give up, and I used very good American leverage. As an American, people should know their rights. That's all I'm going to say. And because I know my rights, I was able to get my account back. So everybody was like, you're not going to get it back. I was like, yes, I am. So it took only a weekend, like a day, and I'm back on TikTok. So that was pretty awesome. What was crazy is that I literally tagged Trump on X literally minutes before they told me I got my account back. I was like, ah!
They were looking at you.
I was like,
looking. They wanted to know.
Not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. So that was cool. Fun fact, guys. Got my TikTok back. So Mary_Truths on TikTok. And if you're not subscribed on MTT, subscribe. I'm actually going to go live right now on Instagram to let people know that we're here as well. All right, so we're going to talk about the speech. A lot of people were not very happy with the speech. Bernie Sanders, of course, is one of those, oh, I knew the rhetoric. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? That was like the best speech he's ever made. Like, he didn't go on a rant. It was probably the shortest speech he's ever made.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. Like, what are you talking about? But whatever, we're going to talk about that. Let's go down that list. So the executive orders, the pardons of J6, a lot of people were not happy about that. I was ecstatic. I know you were too. ICE is back doing their job, finally. Birthright citizenship, we're definitely going to talk about that. I actually spoke about that on TikTok and it blew up. So that was interesting. Dr. Fauci and others have been stripped from their Secret Service protection, which I found out how much money we were wasting, by the way, on just Fauci alone. We're going to talk about that.
Too much.
RFK, Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard's confirmations coming soon. They're all going to get confirmed. I don't have any insider information. I'm just saying they're all going to get confirmed because it's just, if Pete Hegseth was able to get confirmed, they're all going to get confirmed.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom is getting recalled. Hopefully, Grant Cardone can step in. That would be lit. World Economic Forum, that was fascinating seeing him scold a bunch of people, including the European Union. That was amazing. And TikTok will be 50% owned by the US. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. So let's start, Let's start with your thoughts on the inauguration speech, and I'll give mine.
That, well, first and foremost, definitely was one of the shortest speeches he's, given. Even though it was, what was it? It was like 40-something minutes.
Yeah, it was like 47, 48 minutes.
He didn't go on a rant.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't, go Twitter fingers, as, the new media calls it. You can tell from his first term to now, like, his head's a little more screwed on. He knows. He learned from his, mistakes. And he knows how to approach certain conversations, certain topics. And he's media trained now. So it was definitely, wasn't anything new that he was talking about, because literally everything he's been saying for, what, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
He literally reiterated everything all over again and said, okay, it's time to get, the ball rolling. One thing I liked was you could tell who was a Democrat and who was a Republican by who stood up and who sat down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not only that, who clapped and who didn't. And it's like they all had the same facial expressions in sync. So if whether you were a Democrat or a Republican, libertarian, whatever you want to call yourself, if you agreed with what Trump said in that moment, you kind of had like a facial reaction, like, oh, I agree, I don't agree, like, that's being a civil person.
Right.
But then every time the camera came to, like, I want to say the fabulous three, like Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Fauci was there, Bernie Sanders was there, like, you could just tell right off the rip, like, one, they were uncomfortable. Two, it's like they had, a gun or something pointed behind their back. They just didn't want to be there. And it's sad how, we talk about in the world of politics and, adulthood, we all say that, oh, whether you're on the winning or losing side, you should be respectful and, you should have common courtesy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it right over everybody's head. And you could just tell right there and then, like, who wanted to be there and who didn't. But going back to the speech, like, he's ready when everything came off the tongue smooth. And there wasn't any back and forward, like, there was no means for repetition in his speech. He stood up, he said what he had to say, which he's been saying for years, and he's like, all right, let's get the ball rolling, let's go. And that's literally how I feel that it's going to go down. He's ticking things off his checklist one by one. And he's not, wasting time. He's doing his thing.
He has only 4 years.
That's what he has to do. I hate to say it, but when it came to, like, Biden or, Obama, they didn't really get shit done to, like, the very, very end. And the stuff they did get done, like,
was it really beneficial?
Yeah, like, there's no reason to have it or anything like that. But it's been, 7-8 days since Trump's been in office, and homeboy's working.
Yep.
Homeboy's working.
Yep.
So,
and
let's see how it goes down.
My favorite part was when he got spiritual and he said, I could have died, and I'm here right now. So I felt like that was a calling from God to say, I'm here to save my country. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah, 100%. Everything else was like, like really, like, you can tell he was mad and he was pissed. But at the end of the day, like, when he said that, I mean, I would be mad too. You literally almost took my life. But the fact that I didn't die, when that was the objective, I'm here right now telling you that I won, tells you that I'm gonna take my country back. So that was literally the best part for me was just that, because he's not a religious person. He's never been a religious person at all. So the fact that he's becoming more open to, openly talking about God, to me is important. I think you should, even though people want to say that, separation of church and state, but it's like, dude, it's in our dollar bill. Like, it's in the courts, it's everywhere. Like, you can't run away from it. It's there. It's just be open to the idea that we are a religious country, and the majority of this country does believe in God.
Yeah, I mean,
period.
Like, I agree. So what I have to say is that this country was founded on religion.
Yep.
And for some reason, as the years go by and we try to push religion out, shit doesn't get better.
No, it gets dark and, like, I don't know.
And, I wouldn't say I'm a religious person. I definitely have read the Bible from cover to cover. I know what's in it. I know what's in my heart. I know what I believe in. But the fact that this country has taken such a huge step backwards in the last 4 years, it obviously shows that when us as a country, as a nation, steps away from religion or from God or from the church, it doesn't end up happening in the way you want it to become. So I guess that's a way of, the Almighty saying, you turn your back on me, you're not going to like it.
Yep.
And to have Trump stand and literally acknowledge God and go on from there, like, hey, it's showing potential and growth.
The dog is like, yes, God.
It's weird for her to act like this, so I don't know.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for joining. If you're not a part of MTT, subscribe to Married Truth Talks on YouTube. I appreciate you guys are watching on Instagram, but help a girl out and go on YouTube and subscribe there. Thank you guys. So let's get into it because, this is going to be an interesting conversation. So let's start with the first. So this is just AP News. You know how amazing AP News is.
Yep.
They're the best, let me tell you. The best of the best.
I remember, I think it was in high school, I made the transition over from like CNN to AP News, and I was like, what is this? And then, as the years go by, you start reading it, you're like, oh, okay, this is actual media. Like, it's not biased or anything like that, so. What's up?
I mean, I'm not really a fan of AP News. They're kind of left, but, lately they've been all right.
Me, I had a very good buddy of mine tell me, whenever you read the news on one station, go read it on 5 different other stations, because you're always going to have 5 different meanings from 5 different sources. But when it comes to like AP, I can tolerate them.
I'm trying to find it here.
She went upstairs. Good.
It's not popping up. Okay, whatever. I'm going to read it because for some reason the articles aren't popping up. It's just the videos pop up but not the articles. All right, so...
This is what, with the executive
decision? Executive orders. Trump sets out to erase Biden's legacy with pardons and orders immediately after taking office. All right, so Donald Trump began erasing Joe Biden's legacy immediately after taking office at the nation's 47th president, pardoning nearly all of his supporters who rioted at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, issuing a blizzard of executive orders. I like that word, blizzard.
Yeah.
That signal his desire to remake Americans' institutions.
So he had, what was it? During his speech, I know it was like towards the end, and I remember I was on the phone with my mom during the speech. He said something crazy that kind of like stood out to me. And it was, with like, especially going like to the illegal immigrant topic we're going to talk about later, you can go down for like rape and like assault and, violent crimes, get out within a year or two in jail. But you, quote unquote, were a January 6th, activist. You were there for 4+ years.
I know. I mean, he did a bunch of executive orders. I just don't know why this one was such a, like the J6 was such a big deal, but I have it actually here. I don't know why AP News doesn't really tell you the executive orders, but then again, I'm not surprised they lean left. Give me a second here because I have it on chat. I love my chat, man. ChatGPT. Y'all need to start using ChatGPT if you haven't already.
I use it every now and then, but it's a little weird. I don't know. Call me old school, but the fact that it's like a computer telling me is like, are you programmed that way, or are you thinking openly?
I mean, it's honestly saves me a lot of time. That's why I like it so much, to be honest with you. Makes my life so much easier. All right, so Paris Climate Accord. So we left the Paris Climate Accord. Thank God. That was a waste of taxpayer money. World Health Organization, they weren't happy about that. We removed ourselves from that. Reinstatement of travel ban, border wall construction, obviously, massive deportations is ongoing. Elimination of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs is happening. So those are some of the things that he did. He did also, because ChatGPT doesn't have all the new stuff, if I'm not mistaken, He just did another executive order on birthright citizenship to limit birthright citizenship. He did that on purpose because he wanted to take that to the Supreme Court. He did another executive order to make America the crypto country. That was interesting. I was like, very interesting.
He's really it, because yes, he's born and raised old school, in the finance district, that's his thing, right?
Right.
Money is his thing. A smart businessman knows when a wave is coming.
Hi, guys.
Back then, everybody was getting into, stocks and all this other stuff. And then it became recently property. And everyone's been buying houses and buying businesses. And now it's like, it's going into that stock thing again, but it's crypto. And he sees that.
Grant Cardone is doing actually something different. So, he's like a typhoon of real estate. And now he's getting the money that he's made off of real estate and he's tying it into Bitcoin. So now he's doing this thing now where, because he has this company called Cardone Capital, where he gets people to invest with him. And then the investments are tied into the real estate business, but they're also tied into the Bitcoin. So then you have like a double asset. You have the steady asset of the real estate, and then you have the volatile asset of Bitcoin. I was like, that is genius. I was like, yo, these people, and this guy's in his 60s. This is not like a young dude. This is like old guy. Well, not old, because he looks actually great for his age, but he's not, he's not relatively young, He's not like DeSantis or, Vivek. Those are young guys. This guy's already in his 60s. And he's thinking, why don't we just connect real estate with Bitcoin? That way, because Bitcoin, it can drop and
Saudi Arabia has done the same for the last 4 or 5 years. You can go in there, no wallet. You got Bitcoin, you can enjoy the city. You can, enjoy its assets and everything like that. So I think if other countries are going along with it, it's a time that, we go with it as well.
Exactly. And if we're going to make it we're going to be the Bitcoin country, bro.
Exactly.
Go
for it.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, that's genius. All right. Hopefully this actually works. For some reason, Laz told me how to do this. And, of course, Marian has trouble with it while I'm live. Here we go. Finally, it worked. Yeah, it's just the articles. The articles aren't linking. Okay. So this is pinpoint weather. Okay, so let me make sure we're on track here. Yeah, Trump's J6 pardons. All right, let's do it.
Well, 40 years after the riots at the U.S. Capitol, President Trump is wiping away the criminal charges of more than 1,500 people. That includes nearly 50 Central Florida residents who were charged in connection with that attack.
News 6's Laverne McGee spoke with one of those people who says he is not sorry for what he did.
I'm so
this
proud
guy's
of it.
from, I think, Orlando.
I have no remorse for it. I'm very proud of it.
Nathan Tuck says he got a call from his attorney around 11 o'clock last night that President Donald Trump pardoned him and others for charges stemming from the attack on the U.S. Capitol. It was January 6th of 2021 when some of the supporters of President Trump stormed the Capitol building, some of them trying to stop the certification of President Joe Biden's victory in the 2020 election. Tuck proudly tells News 6 he's a member of the Proud Boys and a former police officer of almost 9 years in Apopka and Longwood. He was facing about 14 months behind bars for his role after pleading guilty to felony and misdemeanor charges.
So I went into the Capitol, participated in a protest that was very, very peaceful. And the cops are the ones that they instigated the entire thing. I just protested in the Capitol, a building that I've paid for my entire life through my taxes, so I'm not sorry.
According to the United States Attorney's Office, Nathaniel Tuck was the sole member of his co-defendants who successfully pushed his way past a line of multiple Capitol police officers, making physical contact with at least one officer as he did so. And he spent most of the next hour inside the Capitol building, where he berated officers, shouting at them and calling them communists. Later, he sent a text to his father saying, quote, "Politics won't save us. Violence is the only way we will win." His
Comunita.
father, Kevin Tuck, was with him that day and also charged. He was an officer with the Windermere Police Department and also pleaded guilty for his role in the 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison.
Look at that,
and had
another
yet to start his
officer.
sentence. Last night, Nathan celebrated with fellow Proud Boy members.
We just drank and had a good time last night.
We
we
just
picked up
got
a lot
lit.
of guys from prison last night.
Who were also pardoned?
Yeah, they got pardoned. We picked them up.
There were about 45 local arrests made in connection with January 6th.
3 Central Floridians were charged with some of the most serious crimes. Joseph Biggs, a Proud Boy from Ormond Beach, and Kelly Meggs, an Oath Keeper from Dunellen, were both convicted of seditious conspiracy. And Kenneth Harrelson, an Oath Keeper from Titusville, was convicted of lesser charges and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. All 3 have now been released.
What do you say to people across the country, around the world, who still are concerned or think that this was something that was not democratic and that was something that was considered a bad thing?
I would tell them, get over it. I can care less what you think.
Oh, that was great. I can tell him get over it. That was great. That was awesome. Okay, what do you think about that? What do you think about the J6 pardons?
All right. So these.
Dude, even police officers got arrested. Isn't that ironic? They were like, but they offended police officers. Dude, there are police officers there on the Capitol.
So when it comes to January 6th, like for me, one thing I've noticed is it's very double-sided.
Yeah, it is.
Because you'll have, the left will say they stormed the Capitol, right?
Yeah.
So
They love that word.
Exactly. Yeah.
They stormed the Capitol.
Us, with a good education, when we hear storm the Capitol, we think of bomb rushing this place like you're about to burn it down. Now, when you watch the right side, they don't say storm, they say peaceful protest, where they were literally ushered in.
Yeah, they were.
There's how many hundreds of 20,000 hours of different camera angles, videos? 5 camera angles show that little fight scene that we just saw. The other 92% of the videos show them literally walking in single file line, looking around, taking pictures. Like, that's not storming the Capitol. That's a field trip.
That's a tour.
Yeah, that's like, hey, come on in. Take a look. Don't touch anything, but go for it. I mean, obviously, when we were kids, our parents would say, "Don't touch things." You're still gonna touch things.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was as crazy as what. I don't think it's as crazy as the left say it. So all these pardons, like, yeah, I mean, let's think about it logically. They're government buildings, right? Whether you like it or not, there's only so much you can do there. But you didn't storm the Capitol. You got let in.
Exactly.
So going back to like what Trump says, like, obviously in this country, the legal system sucks. As in, go out on the street, do something crazy, break the law, XYZ. You're going to be in jail for like nothing. But if you walk into a peaceful protest, into a federal building, oh no, your ass is going to be locked up for months, years, until look what just happened now. So that's where I stand.
They want to. It's just what pisses me off is that they want to say, "Oh, but you can't do the what ifs." You can't do the what ifs because you would compare. Okay, it is just for him to pardon all those people because look at what happened with the BLM protest. Nobody got arrested.
Let's not even get started with that because that's like
literal buildings got burned down. Like
yeah.
Government buildings, churches, private business owner, actual officers got also hurt during that time.
For real.
And nobody nobody got arrested for any of that.
Like this wasn't.
And
which
those
was it?
and
Was
those
Chicago?
who did get arrested were put out on bail because there was a civil rights organization that Kamala Harris was really like, yeah, the civil rights organization should bail them out, which they did. So it's like, that's why
Using taxpayer money.
Yeah, exactly. On taxpayer funded money. Exactly. That's why Trump was using that like, oh, so he doesn't care about police officers. You don't, because you literally allowed these people to be bailed out on taxpayer funding when they literally did way worse than J6. If you're going to compare and contrast. And during the BLM riots, they actually had National Guard there. There was no National Guard for J6, and he said he can get 10,000 troops there in advance, and Pelosi and General Milley said, this one.
Sure.
Like,
Exactly.
they're like, this one, we don't need it. We don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it because you knew exactly what was going to happen. The way you can run with it. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm glad he did it. Especially because after Biden pardoned, like, pedophiles and his whole family and some of the J6.
No. But remember, they're innocent.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna pardon you, but you're innocent.
But you're innocent. Exactly. I was like, bro, do you not know what a pardon is? Do you not know what a pardon is? I was like,
That's like me going to my mom and saying, Mom, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And she's like, for what? And I'm just like, no, I haven't done anything. But like, forgive me. But what did you do? No, I haven't done anything. I swear.
Exactly.
I haven't done anything.
Exactly.
But I need your forgiveness.
Exactly. That's exactly what they did. And it's so
like going
funny.
to a Catholic priest and being like, Father, forgive me for my sins. All right, what are your sins? Nah, nothing. You know, I just want to be forgiven. I just want to be forgiven. Like that obviously.
That's an admission of guilt. That's an admission of guilt.
Absolutely. I don't know. I mean,
the fact that some J6 committee congressmen didn't allow themselves to be pardoned because, like, for what? I didn't do anything wrong. But those who did, it's like, what did you do that you thought you should be preemptively pardoned? Like,
and
what did
the
you
worst
do?
thing was Trump didn't find out that Biden had pardoned all of those people until I think it was like 15 minutes into his speech. Because, like, it wasn't the news broke out and then an hour or two later.
Yeah, you're right.
He
It was
got
after,
on.
yes. It was when he started doing his first executive
It was
orders.
like he started, like, talking and doing his thing, and then it's like, oh, yeah, they got pardoned. And it's like, wait, why would you pardon if you're, quote-unquote, in the clear? Mm-hmm. So, and even that, like, for me, I think it's just corrupt.
It is
like,
corrupt.
Don't even go on, on the media, right? Don't go on CNN. Don't go on Facebook. Just go on Twitter. Go on Google and type in Joe Biden in the 80s. And the Joe Biden in the 80s, if he spoke like that today.
Bro, that guy
But
was...
yet again, the same conversation we're having now, if you were to get Trump back then, from today, it hasn't changed. He's the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I know.
She wants to be a part of the live stream.
She's like licking me, and I'm like, I know you want attention. But yeah, like the Joe Biden from like the Joe Biden from like 1980s and 70s, was on a roll. Like, I'm not saying the word, but he loved saying, that forbidden N-word. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, we're gonna give it to them. We're one, and it's like, what made you change?
I mean, he still is kind of there. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
He's drugged up. He's drugged up 90% of the time on medication right now. So I'm pretty sure he forgot what that word means.
Yeah.
But take away that medicine, it's just like our grandparents. They slip right into it. And you're like, hey, relax. Times have changed. But I don't know.
Snap.
I mean, when he was running as president, he had his moments. His first 2 years where I was like, what is he saying? Like, did you not rehearse your lines?
It's he couldn't even read the teleprompter correctly.
Out of those 4 years, the first year he was on point, but he was doing stupid decisions. And then the second year was like, all right, this is when he started to trip and fall off the bike. And like You know, the third year, like, he was just like lost. And then the fourth year, you're like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
And
the fourth year is when we
I
started
hate-
realizing that we didn't really have a president for 4 years. You know.
and I hate to talk about other, people's health, because at the end of the day, like, his health went down
Really fast.
quick.
Yeah.
But if that were to happen to any other president, there'd be more light onto that,
You know what's crazy?
topic.
I actually read into the last time we had something like this was Woodrow Wilson, who also was a Democrat, which is weird how that, whatever. And he had a stroke literally the last couple months of the last year of his term. And they literally said we will never allow something like this to ever happen again in our country.
Oh, no, they took advantage of it.
And we just
They took
happened for
advantage of that
4
right now.
years. We let it happen for 4
Yeah.
years, bro. Yeah, so I don't know. The Democrats, it's not a good look. You guys clearly have like a thing for choosing leadership that has like a mental health problem. And I think you guys got to figure that out, honestly. But
I think 2020 with COVID really brought out the mental health
yes.
loonies.
Yeah, because we always had an issue, but it was the light shined on them real bright. at that time.
Because like, from you and I, from like Hispanic backgrounds and our parents and our grandparents, like today being January 26, 2025, you could go out to a loved one, a teacher, a boss, an employee, and you could tell them like, hey, my mental health, this and this and this. Like, they're going to point you to a psychiatrist or like someone that can help you out. When we were growing up, if we told our parents that, they'd be like, bro, go out in the sun. go drink some water. Go walk around the block.
Bro, my mom
You're
will
not
still do
depressed.
that. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
My mom would be
you're
like,
just
dude,
hungry.
mija, tú no tienes depresión, tú estás bien, ya, no seas tan
Depression,
dramática.
Yeah. We're too poor for depression. You can't have that. Like, that's why I think with COVID, it just really shined a light onto that topic in conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And it made it such a norm that now it's not encouraged. It's like, it's kind of mandatory.
Yeah.
And
But it's not a bad
It
thing, dude,
shouldn't.
because it actually exposes that there is a mental health problem, and then you actually can see like, wow, these people do need like for real, they need help, like legit, like they need help. I'm one of those people that I'll be the first one to tell you, hun, you need help. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I'm
I'm not gonna say.
no fucks.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm perfect, because I've had my moments where, like, I've gone out and like I needed someone to talk to, because we all need someone to talk to and stuff like that. But then it gets to a point where it's just like, all right, I'm not that bad. Like, I'm just going through like a burp or like a bubble.
Yeah.
It's not like a recurring segment where it's like every single day, 24/7. But then you meet these people that it's just like, you're making it your lifestyle.
Yep.
And it's just like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Where did
They made it an
what
identity.
did we do?
Yeah.
What did they put in the water that made us go crazy?
Made the fucking frogs gay.
For real. And the funny thing is, we used to laugh at Alex Jones back then.
Yo,
and
I
now
love
it's like,
Alex Jones, bro. People talk so much smack about that guy. I love, even when they canceled him, I'm like, bro, why'd you cancel this guy? He was talking like truth. Yeah, he said some things about, the Sandy Hook thing, but bro, we all say crazy things. I'm like, everything else though. What about everything else he said? Like, come on. But, it's honestly, the fact that they did that to Alex Jones pretty much opens the door to anybody getting sued for defamation. So AOC, if you keep calling Donald Trump a racist, girl, your ass is gonna get sued.
Didn't they say something that like she should have like her citizenship revoked or something like that?
I don't know, but what is she, Puerto Rican?
Yeah. I think this whole Trump thing about naturalization, she falls underneath it. I think that's what I read online, because I think she was born here, but like none of her parents were, and I think her mother is in the process of naturalization.
Oh, bueno. She must be shitting bricks right now. Well, I actually wanted to talk to you about this. It has to do with the ICE raids. because it's actually happened in your state. I don't know if you know about it. In Newark.
Yeah.
It was like a fish market in Newark. I'm actually gonna pop it up right now. Check this out. I literally saw this the other day. I was like, oh, perfect, because I'm gonna talk to Steven. Look at that.
Yeah.
It worked out beautifully.
And I have two friends actually that they're immigrants, and they're like, oh, since you're more like knowledgeable in this and this and this, like, what do you think? And I'm telling them, I'm like, oye, póngate las pilas. Póngate las pilas.
Yep.
Have you done anything stupid? No? Then I think you should be fine, but still, get your shit in check.
Oh yeah. Check this out. Look at this. Hold on. This is from, let me make sure I got yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Enforcement. This surveillance video appears to show federal
Newark.
agents
Oh,
escorting
okay.
a man outside the Ocean Seafood Depot in Newark. They stop near an SUV for a short time. It's unclear if they're searching him or cuffing him. Next, you can see he's put into the back of the vehicle. The video offers a look at a federal operation at this Newark fish market. Several workers were taken into custody yesterday.
Some ICE agents raided a business in our city without a warrant. People were fingerprinted. Pictures of their IDs and face were taken there. When I got this information, I was appalled.
Trump's attacks on immigrant communities is now at our front door.
Community leaders and immigration activists holding a press conference at City Hall this morning in reaction to what happened.
What we learned from folks that stayed behind was that ICE walked in like it was their empire's own conquered land. They were heavily armed. There was no prior announcement. They were blocking off entrances and exits. They were scrambling up delivery ramps. They were banging down bathroom doors to make sure no one was hiding inside.
Back at the fish market today, this woman on her way into work describes the lingering fear.
People, it's like a little bit afraid because they working for many times here.
This man lives across the street.
That there was a ICE raid at the place.
What's your reaction to the new president's crackdown on immigration, the promise of these mass deportations? We're starting to see these promises play out with that ICE raid.
Well, illegals, or I don't say only illegal. If they're a criminal, then I believe what they want to do is deport them.
This woman lives close by.
Mucha tristeza.
A lot of sadness that they're coming to get people who are working when there's a lot of people outside doing things they shouldn't, she says. The Newark mayor and activists tell us 3 people were taken into custody, but before that several more were questioned, including a military veteran. In a statement, an ICE spokesperson said U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement may encounter U.S. citizens while conducting field work and may request identification to establish an individual's identity, as was the case during a targeted enforcement operation at a work site yesterday in Newark, New Jersey. Under the new administration, ICE raids are unfolding in cities across the nation. While the administration says the initial focus is on wanted criminals who are in the country illegally, the administration also says anybody in the country unauthorized is subject to federal consequences.
The problem with this is that none of these people were rapists or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant.
Okay. That is crazy. Okay. Let's go back. All right. So I got some comments here on YouTube. Everybody who is watching on Instagram, go to YouTube, subscribe, Married to Talks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, so Jose, what's up, bro? Made a little late. You're good, bro. I appreciate you for showing up. Albenis, what it do? Home Skillets. ICE made a checkpoint down here on 8th and 22nd. You're gonna see a lot of that, brother, because we have a lot of illegals in Miami. So that's gonna be.
Had already.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
2 here in Jersey.
Actually, there was actually a raid. That Chinese nationals were found in a U-Haul truck in Coral Gables. So that was interesting. I don't know if you guys heard about that one, but yeah. So okay, I don't know if you saw this, happen recently in Newark, but
We've had a few already. I remember I was already living up here. Yeah. Trump was on his first presidency, and they were doing them right down the block from where I lived. And I remember, like, you'd see the black SUVs just drive by, and you're like, oh, they're going to get one of my cousins or some shit like that. But no, I mean, they have now, like, they're on point. They know where to go and what to do and what to look for.
I would hope so, considering they're getting paid to know what the hell to do. But what got me upset about this guy, I think he's like, what, the mayor of Newark or whatever? I don't know who he is.
It's like one of the chairman mayors, yeah.
So it's like, he's like, oh, these are not rapists, these are not criminals. Like, guy, they're illegal. Like, do you not understand that they're like, they came here illegally, they trespassed? Like, how would you feel if somebody trespassed into your house? Would you be like, oh, it's all right? I mean, they're not like rapists. They're not here to rape my wife. He just trespassed into my house. Like, no. You would call the cops to arrest him, right? That's exactly what they're doing. These are the cops for the
laws
illegals.
in most of these raids that are happening, they're not happening in all, but a majority of the cities and states, they're Democratic states. So, like, New Jersey's a blue state.
Right. Yeah.
And I hate it because you got so much money up here, so much powers up here, but yet it's a Democratic state, and it's like...
It almost went red, though, so who knows, maybe...
It almost, but at the end of the day, almost doesn't cut it. It's either a yes or it's a no.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I've been up here, 8-9 years, and it's always been blue. Like, Pennsylvania down the block just flipped red, and I have, like, 3 really, really good friends that are, like, I consider them family members. They're as liberal as it fucking comes. And when they flipped red, they're like, oh, you got what you asked for, this and this and this. I'm like, that's your state, that's not mine. Like, why are you mad?
I want my state to be red, bro. What are you talking about?
Yo, for real. Like, Florida's red.
Yeah.
I got a lot of family and friends out in Texas, like, they're red. Yeah. I got buddies and family in Pennsylvania, they're red, and it's like...
Dude, Miami-Dade. Forget about Florida.
For the first time in how long?
Miami-Dade, for the first time in, like, ever, is red. So, yeah, I don't...
And that's all.
The percentage of people that voted Kamala in Miami-Dade was, like, very low. Significantly low. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Which is shocking, because you would think, because it's mainly like an immigrant, controlled city, that you would vote blue, and it shows you that we don't want this. We want people to come here legally.
For 4 years, shit hit the fan quick. So when it came to, what's it called? Election, everything flipped like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed that for a few days, the whole country finally came together and said, we're tired of this shit. We want change. That was Obama's slogan in 2006, 8. We're going to do change. Well, hey, we got it now.
Yeah.
So it's time for Big Boy to put his big boy pants on and, go back to like the old days of The Apprentice. Be like, you're fired. Get out. Next. Let's go. Go on to it, because that election really showed people were tired of this shit. Like, if she would have won, it would have been by like that much.
Yeah.
Literally. But the fact that Trump won by a landslide.
What showed also is that people thought that he won last time by like luck. Like, oh, he was just lucky, And then by him winning again, it shows, no, it's not luck. It's actually people wanted him to win.
Yeah.
That's what I think is awesome, because it shows that even though people don't like the Electoral College, I love you, Albeniz, you're one of those people. There's a lot, I want to talk to you about this. There's a lot of people that they don't fuck with the Electoral College. They want like more of the popular vote to be the thing, not the Electoral College. I actually want the popular vote to be like, just, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Who cares about the popular vote? It's about the Electoral College. So people thought the establishment had a chokehold on the Electoral College. That's why they thought, oh, he won by luck. No, he didn't. He won by a landslide in this election, meaning the Electoral College actually works. It's not controlled by the establishment anymore. If it was, it no longer is. He broke that cord that they had on the Electoral College.
I loved how when Kamala was standing up in front of Congress and everybody, and she was like reading the actual votes, that place erupted. It became like a fraternity college house for like a minute. Like, you could tell when she was like, Donald Trump from Florida won, like, the whole place exploded. And he had like, what, 290 something, 300 like votes or some shit?
Yeah,
And then she's like, Kamala D. Harris with like 190 something, and like, you could tell the Democrats were fighting for their jobs because even though they lost, they made more noise than the Republicans. And it's just like, wow, you guys have no spine. Like,
no, they don't. But they're gonna have to work really hard. Benny's, if you're still on, if you can tell us really quick what were the votes. I believe Trump was like 312 or something like that, and then Kamala Harris was 200 and something. She was at 200 and something, and he was at 300 and something. I don't know right now what they are because I'm triple tasking right now. Yeah, if you can find out what that is, Steven, because I don't know if Benny's is still on. So we got another one here. Once you can find out, I'm going to put another video. Okay.
I love the comment. Imagine being installed as a president candidate only to have you announce that you lost.
Yeah, dude. So this one is about birthright citizenship. All right, so this is really interesting because people are saying that we're fighting to change the 14th Amendment, and that's not what we're doing. We're trying to change the interpretation of the 14th Amendment, not the same thing. So I found out recently that the interpretation of the 14th Amendment happened in the 1800s. This person who I'm gonna put up now says it, but she doesn't go in depth in it. It has to do with a Chinese man. Well, he was born here, but his parents are Chinese. So the guy was born here, but his parents are Chinese nationals. And he went to go travel. He came back, and when he came back, they were like, "No, you can't come in because your parents are not born Americans." And then he's like, "Wait, but I was born in America. I'm American." And then so he ended up taking that all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled in his favor and said anybody that was born here, regardless of the parents' immigration status, is an American citizen. So now Donald Trump, with the executive order that he did to limit citizenship birthright, he did that on purpose in order to actually get that to the Supreme Court for a new interpretation of that. Because it doesn't make sense for you to come here with no paperwork, nothing, or even on a work visa, and you're not even a legal resident in this country. You have a child, and that child automatically becomes a citizen. Like, how? If you have no actual connection to this country, no tax money you've been paying for years. So how does your kid become a citizen? How does that make any sense? And then because your kid becomes a citizen, you get benefits from your kid becoming a citizen.
And you also get, I forgot what's the law that you can't split apart a family like because of the kid.
Right, exactly. Right. So it's like, dude, no, that's not fair, because then it screws people like me. I came here legally. My dad came here. My dad is an actual political asylee, because a lot of people that are coming here through political asylum are not actually seeking asylum. They're just coming here just to have a better life, to have a financial life. That's understandable.
That's fine.
But you can't say that you're seeking political asylum when you're not actually seeking political asylum. Political asylum are for people that are actually being prosecuted in their country, and that's why they're seeking refuge in our country. That's the whole point of a political asylum. So my dad came here actually in the 90s, wet foot, dry foot, came here political asylum, actually had the paperwork, the documents to prove that he was a political asylee, and was able to stay here. So then I believe it was almost 4 years later, I came afterwards with my mom and my sister. It took us, because of that process of him being a political asylee, or I guess you would call asylum, whatever. It took us longer to become residents than anybody else. So it took us almost like 7 years to become residents. That doesn't really take that long. That takes like 2 to 3 years to become a resident. We had to take longer to become a resident. And then I didn't become an American citizen until I was 17, right before turning 18, because he got through the whole citizenship thing. He passed the exam. He became a citizen. Then I became a citizen through blood, which is part of the 14th Amendment. There's 2 ways to become a citizen. There's by soil, by blood. I became a citizen by blood through my father becoming a citizen. That is the legal process. But guess what? For him to become an American citizen, how many years were we not paying taxpayer money? We were getting taxed for years and years and years for him to become a citizen, and then for me to become a citizen. So for somebody to come here illegally, have a baby, that baby becomes a citizen automatically when they haven't paid a dime. It's like it devalues my rights as citizens. So that's why I was like, this should have been done a long ass time ago. I don't understand.
With me, I have probably like 3 or 4 really good friends that they are they're immigrants, legal immigrants. They're in the process of, getting paperwork and stuff like that. And they reach out to me and they're like, hey, you're more knowledgeable, which not really, but that's fine. What do you think about this whole Trump thing and everything? And I tell them, I'm like, look, when my grandparents came to America was during the whole Castro Marielito, right? They came here and they did shit the right way. They filled out paperwork. They did what they had to do. My parents were born here. My mother and father were born in New York. And I was born in Miami, so by definition, I'm white. I'm American.
Right.
But if what? I know, life sucks. But if I was born here and my parents weren't, right? They're obligated to do the stuff the right way.
Exactly.
It's their duty to, you don't go into someone's house and the minute you get there, before the doors even close, take your shoes off, take your shirt off, say, this is my bed. No, you have to respect someone's house. Exactly. So you have to respect our country. Mm-hmm. If you're going to come here looking for a better life, go for it. Absolutely. Do what you have to do to live happy, comfortable, healthy, to follow your dreams. Go for it. You want the American dream? Do it.
Exactly.
But if I gotta follow laws,
so do you.
You gotta follow laws.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I gotta pay taxes, you gotta pay taxes.
Exactly.
If I gotta do court, you gotta do court. If I gotta do XYZ, you gotta do XYZ.
Yep.
Once you get your papers and everything and your naturalization and your residency and all that, a different story. You can do whatever you want and so forward. But in the meantime, there's rules and regulations.
Yep.
That's the way this country is founded on.
Exactly.
What, mama? What do you want, baby?
Oh, Benny's got it. 312 and 226. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
Anchor
a
Babies.
total of
Yes,
570. I think electoral is 570. Majority has to be 270.
270 is electoral. Anything over 270.
From 530, yeah.
Albeni's.
He had 312.
Albeni, so why not make an easier, faster way to vet these immigrants? You can't make an easier, faster way to vet them when there's too many people coming in. Think about the amount of people coming in, the velocity, the intensity of how many people that are coming in here. You have to think rational here. How can you vet all these people and make sure that indefinitely they're not criminals, they don't have any diseases, there should be a thorough background check on these people. There should be, and there isn't because there's too many people coming in. The Biden-Harris administration was just focusing on bringing as many people as possible. They didn't give a shit about quality. They didn't care what their actual objectives were. They didn't care about the fact that they could have been missing kids, which they missed a lot of kids. There was 320,000 kids that went missing. And that's the numbers.
A lot of them recently.
Yeah, and those are the numbers that we know of. Those are the numbers that we know of, not the real numbers. So we cannot be thinking of, oh, let's think of a way to vet these people, in a correct way or in a quick way. That's not the point. We don't want a quick immigration system. We want a quality immigration system. That means the people that are worth it should be the ones coming in here, not the people that are going to be coming sucking the tit out of the welfare state. And the majority of these people, unfortunately, are doing that. Because the minute they come, I'm an immigrant. Unfortunately, I have family members who took advantage of El Parol, and they took advantage of all the crap that was going on during the Biden-Harris administration. And I know people personally, the minute they came to this country, they got food stamps. How can you get food stamps when you've never paid a dime into the system? You have parents that can barely afford groceries, and they're getting their food stamps cut. Because why? Because they're giving it to illegal immigrants. That is wrong. You should not be giving food stamps. You should not be giving WIC. You should not be giving any social programs to illegals. They didn't pay into the system, so they shouldn't get it. That's why it shouldn't even. That's why they're getting deported, because it's like we can't focus on creating a system where you're creating like a way to vet these people when we don't even know who the fuck is in here. You have to get everybody out. Focus on like who's here. Get everybody out. Make sure our Americans are good. Let's focus on us, America first. Our Americans are good. And then we can focus on, okay, let's create an actual immigration system that actually focuses on bringing quality people in, that people can actually come here the right way. But we can't focus on that right now. That's not the priority. And that's the problem that I'm having. We're not focusing on the priority. The priority is Americans. That's the priority. Everybody else is irrelevant. If you're not an American, if you're not even a legal migrant, I'm sorry, you should not be here. I don't care.
Absolutely.
And that even goes for people I know personally. You should not be here. And that sucks because it's family. But at the end of the day, we are a country of laws. And if you're not willing to actually follow the law, then you're not allowed to be here. Period. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. It's harsh, in a way, because it's human lives we're talking about, and they're fleeing a third world country. But that's not the way to do it. Especially, my dad brought this up the other day, and I thought this was brilliant. I was like, yes, Dad, that's what I'm talking about. He's like, you know why this is a corrupt system? Why didn't they seek asylum in the first country they stepped foot into? For example, the Cubans. Cubans don't throw themselves into the water anymore. We don't got brave Cubans like that no more. That generation was my dad's generation. They left a long ass time ago. They're already here. They built their businesses. They're paying their taxes. They're here.
Well, they still come on rafts and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
barely. That's not the vibe anymore. The new generation is son tremendo pendejo. They don't do that. What they're doing is they're flying to Nicaragua because Nicaragua opened their ports for them.
Yeah, Guatemala at the same time.
Exactly. So why don't you seek asylum in Guatemala or Nicaragua?
No, because they want to come to the Holy Land. They want to come over here.
Esa corrupción. Sorry for those who don't speak Spanish. That is corruption. If you are coming and you're seeking asylum because your country es una mierda, is garbage, then you go to the first country you step foot into and you seek asylum in that country, because that is the country that's opening their arms to you. Instead, what they're doing is they're going into the Nicaragua or Guatemala or whatever, and then they're going con un coyote, and they're going to another country, until they go. So how many borders do you have to cross to come to America?
Another thing they're doing is, like, my roommate, right? He's Argentinian, and he told me that the new thing that they're doing is they're going from Cuba to Argentina. And then they're living there for like 2-3 years, getting their paperwork over there.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And then they're coming over here and being like, hey, look, I got it all set up. That's fine. At least you went to a country.
Exactly.
You took an oath. You renounced your old area. You became now a citizen of another country. But you're coming over here with some sort of documentation, some paperwork. At least we have a general idea of who you are.
Exactly. Right.
Because I know, I hate to say it, and I've told him multiple times, and like now with the whole Trump thing, he's like, bro, I'm terrified. And I'm like, we've been having this conversation for over 15 years. His father's been in the country for 20, 30 years. No paperwork. And I'm just like, How? How do you not live in fear? How do you not like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ponete la pila. Like, how do you not take charge of this situation and
because
stuff? Like,
we never had leadership that gave a shit until now. It's that simple.
like if I had to go to another country, like let's say for instance, shit hit the fan, and we had to like, I don't know, go to Europe, right? My main objective the second I get there is, hey, what do I have to do to not get kicked out? What do I got to do to stay here? Because obviously, I had to leave for a reason. So if I'm here in another country that's not mine, before I even start thinking about, oh, let's go to the club, let's go do this, let's go do this, like, bro, you got to shack down. You gotta know where you're gonna lay your head to rest and what you're gonna do tomorrow and stuff like that. Like if you're just like, I'll wait for the moment to come, and then like, yo, shit can get ugly real quick. And then God forbid, like what's happening now, right? You come over here, you're invested in America, you're invested in this lifestyle, and then you've never done paperwork, you've never done anything. And you have a kid.
It shows that you don't. Like, it shows that you don't really care.
No, it shows you're irresponsible.
Exactly. It's like you're reckless as hell. Because it's not like you don't have we have immigration lawyers for a reason. Like use them. They're everywhere.
They're hard to find. They're everywhere.
There's all types of rates. You pick and choose what rate you can afford, and you stick to that rate. Like there's so many immigration lawyers. Like right now, that's a hell of an industry to be in. Let me tell you, they're making bank off of this.
Go to law, do immigration, do what you got to do, because you can make money in that field right now.
Seriously. Really quick, Benny, so it doesn't cost the same, if not more, to kick them out. So make a clear path to citizenship. We agree on the root of the problem. Where we disagree is a response.
So I think it actually costs more to keep them here.
It does.
Because one, our taxes should be going back into the state or to federal, not doing a 360 and going into someone else's pocket. Because, hey, perfect example. When I was living in Miami, I had a neighbor that, when I tell you, they had nice cars, they had nice lifestyle, and it was just like, where are you getting all this money from? And they're like, oh, the government helps us because we've only been here for like 2-3 years. And I'm like, damn, bro, what do I got to do to get that type of money? Like, my parents were born and raised in this country, and like, we're suffering. So
there is already a path to citizenship at Benny's. There's already a path to citizenship. I went through that path. My father went through that path. Every legal migrant has gone through that path of becoming a legal migrant and becoming a citizen. That's not the problem. The problem is that laws are not being enforced and people are coming here incorrectly. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. If you want to come to this country, you need to follow the laws of the country. You go to...
Believe it or not, there's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah.
There's so many like, ever since this whole Trump thing and immigration's gone down, like, I don't want to sit here and sound privileged because that's not my position, but I started going online, right? What are the easy ways to, get paper, naturalization, citizenship, residency? Like, it is dumb ass easy.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, the people are talking out of their ass because there are so many ways to actually come here legally. The worst way to come here is the way they're going. Like, literally risking their lives, crossing a river where a lot of people have drowned because you don't know whether the tide is up or whether the tide is down. So if you come where the tide is up and you don't know how to swim, te jodiste. So that's the part that it's like, there's so many ways to come here the right way that you don't have to go through what you're going through. You choose to because the administration didn't care and said, we don't care about the laws, come. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And the one before that, the same thing. Obama was a Democrat who deported 3 million people from this country. So it's not like what Trump is doing is like super like new or something. This is done before by a Democrat. So I don't understand what the problem is. I really don't. I think it's hilarious when a black guy does it, it's perfectly fine. But when a white guy does it, God forbid, it's fucking racist.
No, it's 2025. We don't see color over here.
Yeah, it's colorblind. Color. We're colorblind, but I'm just saying, color. I'm just saying, that's why it's just where we disagree in there. Look up Madagascar plan. Look up Madagascar plan while I am putting up this video. That way people can watch it. All right, guys. I'm going to put this video on because we're talking about citizenship. So let's put this video real quick.
They're a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent immigrant in the United States. That's a huge change. Ever since 1868 and the ratification of the 14th Amendment, almost everyone has been considered a U.S. citizen at birth. The exceptions have been really tiny. The children who are born to high-ranking diplomats are not considered to be U.S. citizens. A lot of legal scholars and civil rights groups say that it would take an amendment to our Constitution to change birthright citizenship. That requires that 3/4 of the states agree and 2/3 of both the House and the Senate in the U.S. Congress. It's really difficult to achieve an amendment to the Constitution that could be tried. In contrast, the Trump administration is saying that there's a clause in the 14th Amendment that people born in the United States have to be, quote, subject to the jurisdiction thereof of the United States. That's sort of the linchpin of the legal battle that's ahead. These legal cases are probably going to take a long time, and they'll likely be appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. And then we'll see how they interpret the 14th Amendment. I think the theory that the Trump administration has is that if they deny certain immigrants access to birthright citizenship for their children, people won't want to come to the United States, whether on a temporary visa or coming illegally, that will be a deterrent. I don't know that that's the case. There's so much economic opportunity and freedom that's available in the United States that's such a pull factor for immigrants around the world that they can hope for their children to have a better life in the United States, whether or not those children are U.S. citizens.
All right. So I can definitely predict that if you were to stop people from having anchor babies, a lot of people will not come and take advantage of that loophole anymore. They'll come for other means. They'll make some money, and then they'll go back to their country, or maybe they'll come and then they'll do it the right way, like how you're supposed to do, until eventually years later you can become a citizen, your kids will become citizens, etc. But a lot of people, as of right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming because of that loophole. That's just it. I know somebody personally who is an anchor baby. Her mom is undocumented. Her mom had I think it's 6 kids. And what do? 3 kids go on her taxes, 3 kids go on the mom's taxes, and they're getting tax credits for each kid. Because the max amount of credits you can have is 3 per tax form. Dime algo. They know how the system works and they use it. It's human nature. If you see an opportunity, you're gonna take it. I'm not criticizing them for being opportunists. Whatever, it is what it is. But because that is the reality, that some people are opportunists and they will find loopholes and use the system in that way, we need to cut that loophole. Find another loophole. That this one's not gonna work for you anymore. I think the Supreme Court will probably rule in a conservative way. I thought they weren't going to allow the TikTok ban, and they did. But then again, I don't know why I thought that, because it was national security and that trumps everything. But I think that they will say, yeah, if your parents don't have, at least one parent is an American or one is an actual legal immigrant, that baby cannot become an American, and that makes sense. I don't even know why. I don't even know what the argument is, to be honest with you, but
absolutely, because if you keep it in that ballpark of your child is born here, you get citizenship, I think we should make pregnancy tests in other countries say, if positive, go to America.
Exactly.
You should be, let's say
that's funny.
In Haiti or Nigeria or, Venezuela or whatever. Every pregnancy test is going to say, if positive, please go to America.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
No, I mean, if you want to come to this country, have kids, go for it. That's what God intended. God intended for man and woman to get married and have kids.
Yep.
But because you have a kid in this country, it shouldn't be like, here's a free ticket to like a better life. Like, no, there's Americans in this country suffering, born and raised here, and we don't get it that good. But you can hop on a plane and 8, 10, 12 hours later be over here and be like, oh yeah, in like 3 or 4 months, I'm going to have a kid and that's my get out of jail free card. Like, no, you can have the kid here. Do what you want. But as that child is being, developed inside the mother's womb and you're going to work and making money to support that child, you should also be going home and saying, okay, what do I got to do to stay in this country? I came here for a reason.
Exactly.
I want to stay here. It's not like you're leaving your country and saying, I'll deal with it when, shit happens. Like, for that, you're just asking for trouble. If you're going to come here, do things the right way. And I don't want to make it seem like there's only one way of doing it.
No, there's a bunch of ways.
There's not. There's a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
A bunch of ways. If you're not fortunate enough to have kids, right? You get married. Like that's another, and it's a great loophole. But you could legit come to America, not speak a word of frickin' English, get married to someone that's American, and within 6 months start applying. 6 months.
Yeah, but you have to be careful because if there's no proof that you guys actually are being married because you're being married because you love each other, they interview you. You don't just there's an interview process.
Absolutely. But let's be honest. You can have conversations beforehand and be like,
oh yeah.
My favorite toothpaste is Colgate, and I brush with my left hand, and I sleep with socks on at night. And my favorite movie is Grease Lightning. Like, you could get your stories straight.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying do it because that's illegal, but there's so many ways you can go about it of becoming, you don't even have to go for your citizenship. You can get a green card. Mm-hmm. You can, become a resident. Mm-hmm. There's steps, right? You can't get to the second floor without taking 5 or 6 steps.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if my grandparents did it, everybody else's grandparents or parents or they themselves should be doing it.
Yep.
There's laws in this country. If us Americans have to follow it, so should everybody else.
Yep. Amen.
Now, if you're going to come here and you're going to make an ordeal about it, sounds like you're not being grateful. And that being said, get the fuck out.
Yep.
Like, that's it.
Like right now. Right now. So speaking of people that are ungrateful, let's talk about Dr. Fauci. So Dr. Fauci has been stripped away from his Secret Service protection detail. Thank God that happened, because I can't believe he even had Secret Service protection to begin with, which shows that
Russia's gonna get him.
So let's take a look at this. This is interesting.
And I've met with owners of TikTok.
I bet that's not it. What happened? Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Mr. President, the security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment on that.
About what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you work for government. We took some off, other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something would happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. They all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security too.
Mm-hmm.
All the people you're talking about, they can go out I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
Oh, God. All right. So that's such a stupid question. Do you think you would be responsible if something were to happen to him? Like, how would I be responsible?
Next up, we want to talk about
Look, if you made that much money, you can afford it.
Dude, okay, so speaking of it, let's talk about how much money this guy made, because I got the numbers. All right, so this guy, I wish I could show you the graph. So in 2020, he made $417,608 in 2020. 2021, he made $434,312, so more than 2020. 2022, it keeps going up. $455,028. 2020, that was 2021, bad. 2022 was $480,654. 2023, he made the most. This shit is at $504,806. And then 2024 was $529,921. So he just kept making more and more money as the years went by after 2020. Okay.
And he's getting paid, quote unquote, more than a president, because a president makes about $400,000 a year, and then I think they get, it's like a $50,000 to $60,000 extra in like assets and like whatnot and so forward. And even after you stop becoming president, you're still getting paid the same amount. Mm-hmm. So he was getting paid more than the president.
Right. And these are just numbers that he's reported. Okay. So we don't really know how much the real numbers are. So I actually asked Chad how much money did we spend on his Secret Service on a monthly basis. And approximately we spent, I'll tell you right now, blah, 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 blah. Where did it go? I had it right here. $500,000 per month on his Secret Service.
Oh, so we paid more for his safety than what he was actually worth.
Yes.
So $500,000 in 2 months, that's $1 million. So that means we paid like anywhere from 9 to 10 million a year.
Yeah, and that's just him. We're not talking about
that's
the
more
other
expensive
scumbags.
than like the best insurance policy ever, because it's like, hey, you're worth $430,000, but we're gonna spend 5 to 7 times more to keep you safe.
Exactly.
I want that insurance.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I thought that was insane to me. I was just like, bro, why? Why does somebody that's not even elected, why does he even have Secret Service? My freaking phone keeps falling. Like, why does he even have Secret Service in the first place? I was like, why are we paying for this? What? I don't understand. He's a bureaucrat. He's not a governor. He's not a mayor. He's not a president. He's not a congressman. He's not a senator. He's not any elected official. He's a bureaucrat. So why are you getting...
He's a chief medical advisor.
Exactly.
So...
And that's from a bunch of different administrations. This is not just Biden. This was, I believe, Obama as well. And I believe
he was an infectious disease from 1984 to 2022.
Dude, like, I think he's the most paid bureaucrat, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's made the most money in government, has been Fauci. So it's very questionable. It's extremely questionable. Everybody who's watching, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. That would really help me out for the algorithm. Everybody on Instagram, go on Married Truth Talks on YouTube and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, so I'm actually glad, good riddance. He should have never had Secret Service to begin with, but I'm glad that he got rid of it. What do you think about RFK, Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard?
So it's gonna happen regardless, whether you people like it or not. They've already been appointed that. It's just a matter of time. But for me personally, when it comes to those three, you can get there eventually. There's bigger fish to fry, and there's more, things to take care of. I know right off the bat when RFK gets, his picked in or whatnot, you thought people lost their shit when Trump became president. This man is gonna start a whole another wave. And that's unfortunately something that we need. Because in today's health and the way things are going, we need someone to, go against the grain.
Yeah.
He's set to appear before, what is it, the committee?
It's this week coming up.
This week, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm so gonna watch that. I can't wait.
And if confirmed, he's gonna have sweeping control over 18 agencies, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about the Center for Disease Control, FDA, National Institute of Health, and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Everything that has been controlled by a Democrat, he's gonna go in and be like, I'm here. What's up?
He's technically still a Democrat. He's a classic liberal, what they used to be, before this weird commie progressive movement.
Back like a few years ago, all those organizations, the Democrat Party would, knock on the door and say, hey, your agenda for the next 4 years is going to be X, Y, Z. We're going to give you this money. Shut up. Don't say anything. Go along with it. If someone has a question, tell them that you don't have cell signal. Call me directly. We'll tell you what to say. Blah, 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 blah. That's it. That's how it's been. Now you have RFK that's like, hey, you killed my uncle. You killed all these people. Yeah, it's not the way it works. No. We're doing this the right way. Yeah. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. And unfortunately, there ain't no good in this picture.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said. Like, I'm really anticipating and really, more interested than nervous on how this can's gonna open up, because, for instance, Red 40. How come we as a country allow that here? But the rest of the world's like, no, that's bad. That's bad. Right? Yeah. All of these additives. Look at a box of cereal. Compare an American box of Cheerios to a European box of Cheerios. Their list is like that. Our list is like that. Oh, yeah, and ours is double-sided as opposed to theirs being, like that. So, obviously, if our own government doesn't care about what we're eating, they could give 3 rats ass about XYZ.
Exactly. Yeah.
So to have someone that is going to go against the grain, it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and sure. It may, it may upset a lot of people.
As it should. Those are the people that are the enemy.
But when we're talking about our health, growing up, I grew up in a very old school Christian Spanish household, right? And we were always taught, eat this, eat this, eat this, don't eat out, don't eat this, don't do this. And it's like, in the last, 10 years, nutrition has just complete flip-flop. That's how, you had said to me the other day when you saw me drinking Gatorade. I was like, bro, thank God I didn't even finish that. I was so hungover, I took 4 sips, and I was like, this is not good for me. But normally I put, salt in my water or something to, get the hydration going. But our nutrition as a country has just not been, it's not good.
No.
And it hasn't gotten better. It's actually getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah. And I think us as a country, what was awakening for us was the COVID vaccine. Because we're taught, you know, hey, there's good and there's bad. There's deemable excuses and then there's rational thought process. But when someone stands in front of the camera and says, everybody needs to do this.
Yeah, no, fam.
that doesn't sound
fly.
Right. It's not good at all. So going with, you know, like the vaccine, right? So I know a lot of people that have it, and I know a lot of people that don't have it. It's not good. And as studies go along and come out, there's more damage than health benefits to it.
Yeah.
You know, even with, you know, like HPV vaccination. I got it young because you had to get it going to school, and it was part of, you know, how do I say it? It was mandatory to get that. Now we have studies and research saying, yeah, it helps out, but there's more cancer and there's more side effects to it than health benefits. Like, if you want to be real, and I'm not saying don't get it, because everyone should, you know, be protected, but like, do some research. Don't just listen to what people say and be like, oh yeah, you know, you studied medicine, I have to listen to you, because when you go to school as the doctor, they're already telling you from the rip, hey, you got to tell your patients this and this and this and this and this and this.
It's indoctrination.
And then, you know, dietitians, hey, if you're gonna be a dietitian, you have to recommend this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Because like, I know a bunch of people that they don't eat quote unquote healthy, but they eat old school, right?
Okay.
So the way that I like to go about my diet is when I go into the supermarket, I grab something off the shelf and I say, did this exist 1,000 years ago? No, put that shit right back.
That's pretty good.
Or, you know, hey, let me try to pronounce some words on the back. And if I turn it around and I'm like, there's an X and a Z in like the first 3 syllables, I'm like,
nah, maybe I shouldn't be eating that.
I shouldn't have this. Or if there's numbers and ingredients, I'm like, not for me.
I'm reading the chat really quick. For a second there you went no, never mind. Okay. It's my tablet. Albenis, did God not intend for you to chase a better opportunity to pursue happiness? Albenis, you don't believe in God, bro. What are you talking about?
I mean, God did give us free will, and us as humans, we fucked it up, so.
My phone freaking fell again. Okay, another one. Yeah, but one of the main reasons why Americans, wait, where was I? Yeah, but one of the main reasons why Americans born here don't do as well as immigrants who migrated here is because of straight up laziness. Yes, Jose, I agree with you. I've seen people come here with nothing but their name and make themselves into something, because most of the time people are living for something greater than themselves, for most part at least. Yes, greater than themselves. Yeah. There are Americans born here with all the opportunity in the world, and they don't take advantage of it. Yep.
Absolutely.
And then Jose, this is the same person. The CDC and the FDA are not your friends. Nope.
I agree.
No, they're
Absolutely.
not. No, they're not at all.
Who was the president that said the 9 deadliest words is, "Hey, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you"?
I think it was Reagan.
Reagan.
I think it was Reagan.
I remember seeing that in I think it was in like a freshman or a sophomore, right? And did you have Miss Adamak in high school?
No.
She was like
what subject was she?
American history.
No, I had Hernandez.
U.S. government. U.S. government.
No, for government I had the African guy. Igbe. Yeah, I had him.
Yeah,
He was cool.
I remember sitting in a few of his classes. But like she had shown a video of us of that years ago. I think it was a sophomore, and it really struck a nerve. And I was just like, this man's a president, and like he's just, hey, don't trust us. Like that right there, right off the rip for me was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And then when COVID happened, and I saw one of those videos on, you're stuck in your house for 6-7 months. You're scrolling through your phone, and I saw that video again, and I was like, oh, wait, we've gotten a full circle now. And then I realized we're in that same full circle again, now that RFK is going to be in it, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, dude, no.
We're fucked.
RFK is going to expose things that should have been exposed a long time ago, and I think that the reason why he's bringing people like that in, like also Tulsi Gabbard, he's bringing more people, Kash Patel, it's people that are more, I guess, radical with their viewpoints, because they're willing to expose things that might be shocking to the audience, but we need to see it to trust in the government, or at least have some trust into the government. Like I just did a live not too long ago where like our trust in the government has literally, like in less than 20 years, has just went downhill like so fast. And it's like, dude, if the trust in the government, and the government is the one managing our tax dollars, if we're losing trust in you, like what are you doing? Like why should we even continue funding you if you're not even doing your job? So that's why there's so many people that are like, fuck the government, like these like anarchist people, which I'm not on that camp. But I understand where they're coming from, because it's like, look at the trust. There is no trust in the government. So I understand where they're coming from. Like, why should we continue to fund you guys if you're not doing your job? You should be fired indefinitely. But if you do that, then there's freaking chaos. So you can't do that. You need to literally expose things that need to be exposed in order for us to be like, okay, all right, you're actually being honest with us now. Okay, maybe you're not that bad. Maybe I can trust you a little more now. At least in these 4 years, we'll figure out in 4 years if we can get another Republican in and we can continue trusting the government. But the Democrats have done a terrible job at losing trust. I mean, the neocons in the past, like the Bushes, also did a horrible job. So this new Republican Party hopefully could help us recuperate some of that trust into the government. So the next topic I want to talk to you about really quick is Bernie Sanders. That's the guy. That's the guy right there, bro. I love Bernie Sanders. He's like
I remember
the best.
It was 2015, 2016, when Trump was running for president and they were doing all those debates. And you'd hear him talk, and we had drinking games that every time he'd stutter, be like, take a shot. And I think we had to stop that game because like we wouldn't even get halfway through the debate, and we're blacked out drunk, and I was just like, and he's what? He's like libertarian or like?
No, he's a socialista. He's socialist. He's socialist. He's an independent as far as like, he's not a part of the Democrat Party per se, but he is. He is, but he isn't, if that makes sense. Like when you look at him in Congress, he has a little eye for independent, but he's part of the DNC. When he ran for office, he ran as a Democrat, not as an independent. But he's a socialist.
Right now, I'm going to say right off the rip, he shouldn't be in politics. This man is 83 years old.
Jesus Christ.
I can bet you a month's worth of paychecks that if you were to tell him to tie his shoe, I don't think he can do it. I didn't know he was that old.
Bro, he looks older than 83, let me tell you.
I think you need an age limit on this type of shit. Because I can damn well say for sure his grandparents were around slavery times.
Yeah, dude, he's an old guy. We know, his grandparents, we know whose side they were on. Oh, snap. All right, let's watch this guy rant about socialist propaganda here. Oh man, he's something else.
Whole lot of stuff. Every single day you're going to see all kinds of stuff. But it is terribly important, in my view, for the American people to stay focused on the most important issues facing our country. All right, for example, very few people deny that our healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, and it is outrageously expensive. Did the president, in his inaugural speech, say one word about the healthcare crisis?
Oh my God! Yeah, because that's what's important right now is the healthcare. That's what's important right now.
We have a major housing crisis. Not just 800,000 people who are homeless, millions of people paying 50, 60% limited income in housing, on housing. Did the president say one word about the housing crisis? We have massive income and wealth inequality. The gap between the very rich and everybody else never been wider. But sitting behind the president, as you know, were the three wealthiest people in America, worth together over $1 trillion. Did the president say one word about income and wealth inequality? Obviously not. Those are his supporters.
What was it like for you to see those people, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all sitting behind Trump yesterday, and not just behind him, but sitting next to his cabinet?
Well, you know, Caitlin, as you may know, I have been talking about my fears as to how the United States is moving rapidly toward an oligarchic form of society.
Oh God, here we go.
And anybody
the rhetoric is amazing.
Was in the room or on
they
TV.
Stick to the script, very good.
And so the president of the United States, surrounded by the three wealthiest people in this country, one of whom made hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign contributions to him, at the same time when we have more concentration of ownership than we have ever had. The conclusion I hope that most people reach is that we are moving toward an oligarchy. We've got to fight back. We've got to protect our democracy. We need an economy that works for all, not just the people on top.
Ay, qué más me cae el tipo este. Vermont, why can you get somebody like that's, I don't know, 50 years old or something? I don't know. Somebody else. Like, what is wrong with you, guy? You got kicked out of your own party when you were running for president. What are you talking about? Your party is an oligarchy, and it's been an oligarchy forever. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the hypocrisy is, it's incredible. You know, it's funny because now they're using the word oligarchy. They weren't using that before. So
it's a big word for them.
Yeah, they're using that word now. It's like every time they use like a new word. You know, not too long ago, it was fascist and Hitler, right? And then they got rid of that. That was only for the campaign trail. Now it's oligarchy. No, now that's what it is. Now that's a new term. It's like, you know about Project Mockingbird? You know about that?
Project Mockingbird, yeah.
Okay,
I've heard of that.
So for anybody who doesn't know what that is, Project Mockingbird is pretty much CIA ran. This is like, you can look this up. It's already open.
A rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole, but it's open. You can look this up. This is not me going fucking tinfoil hat here. This is Project Mockingbird. It's literally the CIA literally telling big media outlets what to say. They use specific terms and they tell media outlets, this is what you're going to run on. And you're going to run on this for as long as possible. For example,
we've seen those videos of like all the news stations literally going word by word.
Exactly. Right. That's Project Mockingbird. Another example of that was the Russia fiasco that happened during Trump's first 4 years. That was Project Mockingbird. That was literally them using that over and over and over again until Kash Patel finally put the plug on it and said, you guys are full of shit. This is all a lie. And he actually was able to like prove that this was all humongous lie. But it's the fact that they were running on that for a long time because they were ordered to run on that for a long time. So now the new order is, this is an oligarchy because there's a billionaire back in office and he's brought other billionaires. And it's like, dude, how do you not see that this is better than what you guys were doing? What has Bernie Sanders ever built? Nothing. And he has yet 2 properties. He has one very fancy estate in DC, and then he has another one in Vermont, right in front of a lake. A little nice fancy mansion. Okay? So it's like, what are you talking about? What?
I want that.
So I'm saying, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? You literally got like wealthy off of the backs of taxpayers. What are you talking about? I'd rather somebody who is a guy who's actually built something for himself and have multiple people who've done that too running this damn country than a guy like you who's never done a damn thing in your life and you've literally been living off of us. Talking about, oh, they're wealthy. Bro, you are wealthy. What are you talking about? And you built shit with your life. Yeah,
that sounds like Biden. Before Biden went into office, he was worth what? 200,000 max. Now he's multi-million. I mean, you could thank China and everybody for that.
Yeah, Ukraine.
But like, you know, all these new billionaires that are coming out to like the Republican Party and stuff like that, like 95% of them are established businessmen.
Exactly.
Like they didn't just fall out of the sky like Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
What isn't the man getting himself into?
Yeah.
Businesses here and there, and you know, he's not like, yeah, he's worth 420 something billion, but when you look at his assets and what he owns, like physically, it's not that much. I think he owns a house and that's it.
Yeah, as far as assets, yeah, he's not like Jeff Bezos.
He's not. Yeah, like Jeff Bezos just bought himself a $200 and something million custom yacht that they had to take down a bridge.
That's crazy.
They had to take down a bridge so that they could sail out.
That's crazy.
And he's like, I'll put the bridge back up.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
But like Elon Musk, like with all the money he's got, it's just like he's investing it. He's investing it. He's growing his companies. He's doing this. And all the other billionaires that are on the Republican side, they all do the same thing. Why? Because the tax loophole is the more you hold on to, the more you have to pay. As opposed to the Democrats, that's like, oh, if I start off with nothing, I would get it all. And then I'll figure it out later. And then, oh no, I don't want those tax cuts and everything. Like Trump said it the other day, like he's gonna lower taxes like never before. And that's what the Republican Party's always been about. It's always been about they stood against slavery, new territories for us as a country, and what was it? The laissez-faire capitalism, low taxes, and conservative social parties. Right? I think I got that right.
Yeah.
I may be missing something here and
war.
there.
They loved war back then. Now they don't, but they used to love war back then.
Look, I don't like war.
Yeah. They were huge on war.
I don't like it at all. I like peace. But you got to understand, like, America is at a powerhouse level now where you don't want to go to war with us. Back then, Vietnam and that time, like, we were still learning. Now?
Yeah, that's not in the history books for a reason. That wasn't a good war, you know what I'm saying?
No. We should have never done that.
Yeah,
we should have never done that.
I remember it in history class. That was like 2 pages. It
was the quickest.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
You don't need to learn much about that. It's okay.
It's like there's more movies about Vietnam than pages in the history book about Vietnam. Like, we have a few movies here and there of like World War I, World War II. We have a shit ton of movies about like, Afghanistan and Iraq and those hidden I don't know if you knew about the hidden missions that we've had in like Africa and stuff like that. But Vietnam was like 1, 2, 3, boom, done. That's it.
Yep.
Like I said, more movies than that about itself. But war, I personally don't like. And speaking of war, have you seen Trump's president emblem?
No.
Okay, so when you see him stand on a podium where the logo is.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. In the World Economic Forum.
It's always looking towards peace.
Yes.
But ever since he came into office, it's looking the other way, like, hey, fuck around and find out. America is at a point where they want to get their shit together.
That came out on the World Economic Forum. When he stood in the podium, you saw it on the other side. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay.
When I saw it, I was like, America's back.
And I was like, okay.
America's back. Yeah.
So speaking, I mean, I'll get to that later. But so the Gavin Newsom thing, I thought it was interesting because he's getting recalled again. There's a girl that she might throw herself in to pretty much try to go against him, but then Grant Cardone also wants to go. I would hope Grant Cardone wins. That would be pretty awesome. Another billionaire.
Hey, look, if you're a billionaire, cool. But if you're gonna get results,
even better.
Go for it.
Yeah. The goal is to get results. But yeah, I'm down. Let me show you really quick. If I can find it, that'd be fantastic. Is it this one? No, it's TikTok. Trump's tariffs. Where is it? This is like not in order. Oh, no wonder. No wonder, bro. It's a freaking article, Marianne. Silly me. Tricks are for kids. All right.
Gavin Newsom reminds me of a white Cuban. Have you seen him talk with his hands?
Oh my God. And he goes like this. I'm like, what are you doing, guy? What are you doing?
I've seen so many videos ever since these fires in California, and I'm just like, bruh.
He deserves, he and the LA mayor deserve to be.
I can't stand that lady. Bass,
Karen Bass.
Like, and Trump grilled her the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw, yeah.
Like, he went word, he shut down everybody there. Like, they even tried to take her mic.
She was like,
she was wrong.
They're gonna get a week to be able to go to their homes. And he's like, they should have already been able to go to their homes. Like, you're missing the point, lady. Like,
how much money did she take away from them?
Oh man.
When she became the mayor stuff, like, she went to like the fire department and was like, you don't need all this money. Nothing's gonna happen. Or not even money, training. Just you guys don't need certifications about that and stuff like that. Stuff will never happen. Like, obviously, you knew some shit was gonna happen.
So what's crazy is that they're doing this new tax in California that is based off of your income. So like, they're gonna tax your energy. So like, you know how like, I don't know what you guys have over there in Jersey, but you know how here we have FPL. So imagine FPL taxing me, like charging me, not off of my usage of energy, but off of my income. They're doing that in California. They're going to start doing that in California. They want to tax people off of the actual income that they use like on energy. And I'm like, bro, that's insane.
Yeah, over there, you guys pay what? Just federal?
Yeah, we don't pay. Yeah.
Yeah, over here we pay state and federal.
I know.
Because we're one of those states that we believe that we should pay for other states.
Yeah.
It's a blue state. It's ridiculous. I mean, the corruption. If you ever get a chance, when I first moved up here, I had a few friends that told me this, and I was like, it doesn't sound right. And then I did a road trip not that long ago, and while we were driving, I was like, bro, can we make a few stops? And he's like, yeah, sure. And we stopped at 3 different colleges, and I walked right in, and I was like, hey, point me here as soon as possible. And we went to the library, and we found the law books, and you know, in the library, you could tell who was studying and who was not. And I was like, hey, are you studying law? Yeah. Show me where this is in this book, because I have no idea where to start. And they're like, oh, super easy. Here. 3 different colleges across this country. Law books. They all talk about internal corruption in the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
The corruption over here is so bad. Like, just think of the mafia, right? Our gun laws are so tight because back when the mafia was running shit, they quote unquote had more firepower than the cops.
Oh, so that's what the excuse they have now to tighten the. Wow.
Like, in this entire country, and I coming as someone that owns guns, in this entire country, 50-something states, there's only 2 states that is virtually, not impossible, but super insane to get a permit. California, New Jersey.
That's crazy.
That's it. That's it. In every other state, you could have 15, 20, 30 round magazine. You can have all this shit. Over here, nah, only 10. Florida, someone breaks into your house, you can stand your ground, right?
Yeah,
Not over here. Not over here.
That's
I have to
crazy.
retreat. I have to run away. I have to beg them. And I can't have, like in Florida, you could sleep, right, with a loaded gun underneath your pillow. That's your law. That is your God-given right. Over here, your gun has to be in one safe, unloaded, and in the other safe is where your magazine and your ammo comes in. So if someone breaks into your house, you have to say, stop.
No, te
stop.
mataron.
You got to go to one safe and open it up, and then you got to go to the other safe, open it up and say, stop, stop, and then start loading it up and stop, stop, and then put it together. And then before you can shoot, you got to run away.
Dude, yeah, no.
We don't have a standard ground over here.
That's bad. That's bad.
This is why we need Brandon Herrera in the ATF. I don't know if you know who that is, but...
Is that the... Yeah, I know who that is. The
Go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I know who that is.
Go down the rabbit hole.
I like him a lot. Yeah, I know who that is. I like him. I used to watch him a lot. For some reason, he doesn't pop up on my feed anymore. Gotta see what's going on.
He's one of those that, like, the minute Trump came into office, or before, just the media in general was like, push him away, push him away, push him away. And even Trump recently, like, joked around saying, like, I'm going to appoint him as, like, the ATF. And that's a whole nother topic for another podcast, that we should go down that rabbit hole of the ATF, because it's hilarious and it's stupid at the same time.
Damn. Yeah, damn. Now that I think about it, I'm going to see if I'm even subscribed, because I don't know if I'm subscribed or not. Maybe that's probably why I'm not looking at him anymore, because maybe I'm not subscribed to his account. But when it comes to the World Economic Forum, so this happened like 2 days ago? When was this? On the 23rd. Yeah, so it hasn't been that long.
That was like Friday, I think. Thursday,
yeah. So he pretty much told the European Union, like, you guys are not being fair, like, at all. We buy your stuff, you don't buy any of our stuff. He told Canada, I will tariff you, and Mexico. Mm-hmm. He did say that. He's like, it's gonna happen. So get ready. So really quick here. Let me see. European Union Trade Commissioner Valdis Dombrovskis said, I probably butchered that. I'm sorry.
No, tremendo nombre.
I tried. I really tried. Everybody, I'm sorry. The 27th nation EU would approach the Trump administration with a spirit of cooperation. Yeah, I bet. You better cooperate. Given that the bloc and the United States are strategic allies that together amount to 42% of the world economy. That's crazy. So the 27 nations of the EU and the United States is 42% of the world's economy. That's wild. So Argentina was like, he was there. He was like, yeah, Trump is back. He was all happy about that. NATO. So Canada barely pays into NATO. They pay like 1 point something %. We pay 3.9 or 3 point something.
We pay the most out of everybody.
Us and another country, Poland. Us and Poland pay the most.
And honestly, I agree with Poland. You never hear anything happen over there.
Yeah, no, I agree with Poland too. So Poland and the United States pay the most. The other countries don't pay anything. And then Canada pays like the minimal amounts. So Trump is pretty much saying either you pay the 5% or you become the 51st state. Take your pick. Take your pick.
I would love to see that happen.
That would be lit. So this is out of topic, but this just happened recently. So breaking news. He sent a bunch of Colombian migrants and sent them over in military aircrafts to Colombia. And Petro was like, no, you can't bring them here. So we had to send them back to our country. And then Trump was like, oh, we can't take them to you? No problem. 25 to 50% tax on everything, all the things that you import into our country. And then he was like, and then he tried to play hardball. He was like, oh, well, we'll tariff you. And then a couple minutes later, he brought that back. He goes, you know what? Never mind. I changed my mind. We're going to take our own presidential airplanes and we'll take the migrants back to our country. You're good, bro. Don't worry, you're good. And then Trump was like, nah, fam, you should have taken them from the very beginning when I gave them to you. You denied my request. I spent money having to take them to your country, so I'm still going to tariff you now. So that's what you get.
It was 25% for a week, and then after that it goes to like 50% or something, which is like the ultimate financial middle finger.
Yeah. I will destroy your.
I mean, we get a lot of products from Colombia, not that much, but we do get some. You know, the one thing I do like with this whole tariff thing and everything was when he got inaugurated, they were asking him like that same day when he was filling out all those executive orders. They were like, "Oh, now that you're president, you know, are you gonna follow the loop that every president does? Are you gonna go to Europe and London?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do the same thing I did the first time, which was he went to Saudi Arabia." And the reason he went to Saudi Arabia is because normally, like when they go to London or Europe and they start working their way around the world to like shake everybody's hand, pretty much. That's their way of making business deals, as in like, hey, for these next, 4 years, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
Right.
Spend, $100 billion in 4 years buying goods from us. And in return, we'll give you $20 billion in aid and medical assistance and, military equipment and, all this other stuff.
Right. Yeah. Basic trade.
So like when Trump got it the first time, he had told Saudi Arabia like, "Hey, yo, if you want me to, visit you first, you should go for like, I think it was like 410 billion or some shit like that." And Saudi Arabia went with it. They paid. That's why he went. That's why he went.
Is Saudi Arabia also the country who's saying they're going to invest $1 trillion into our economy?
Now, so before it got to that number,
okay.
When he got elected, a week and some change ago, they had asked him like, "You're gonna go to Europe?" He's like, "No, I think I'm gonna go to Saudi Arabia." Because remember, last time they paid us 420 billion in 4 years.
Okay.
420 billion. So right there, Trump says, "This is a perfect time to shoot my shot in the dark." And as he's signing executives, I don't know if you caught on to it, but I'll send you the video so you can watch it. He literally says, "We're good friends," right? Because everyone's good friends with Trump. I'm going to see if we can bump it up to like 500 billion. And then the prince himself says, "I'll give you 600 billion. And Trump, once again, being Trump, says, "You know what? Just round it off to $1 trillion. Just go for it. Go for it." And I think they'll do it. Absolutely. That's penny to them.
Didn't he agree to it?
Oil.
I think I read that he agreed to it.
I'm pretty sure. And if he did, what we spent in 4 years with Ukraine.
Bro, what is that? Exactly. Exactly. That's dope. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining. A lockdown. Thank you so much for joining. A lockdown. Where are my glasses? Bro, I can't wear glasses when I have a bunch of lights on me because then you can't see my eyes. So, I wasn't born with my glasses anyway. I know it's part of my identity, but right now I'm just married without glasses. Damn, he's 83. I was voting for him. I wanted him to win. Tú querías que un socialista quería ganar el lockdown. What's up with you, bro? It's okay. You know what? I'm not going to put it past you because you didn't know as much as you do now. So maybe now you would have thought different. Back then you didn't know. So it's okay. I'm not going to put it past you. And Steven, that's you. Get this man out of office. Yeah, bro. First of all, he's a socialist. We shouldn't even have socialists in office, period. Because we're a capitalist country. And two, the guy probably wears diapers. Like, come on.
We're a republic.
Yes, but we're still a capitalist country. We're a republic, but we're a capitalist country. We like monies. Speaking of that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to Married to Talks on YouTube, give yourself a quick second of your time and go on there and subscribe. I appreciate it. All right, so the last one is gonna be TikTok. So the plan is that let me just show it to you and then I will talk about it, because there's a video about it. So is this the video? Yes, it is. All right, cool. I'm already on the video. Sweet. All right, check this out.
Big owners, it's worthless if it doesn't get a permit. It's not like, oh, you can take the U.S. The whole thing is worthless. With a permit, it's worth like $1 trillion. So what I'm thinking about saying to somebody is buy it and give half to the United States of America, half, and we'll give you the permit. And they'll have a great partner, the United States. And they'll have something that's actually more valuable because they have the ultimate partner, and the United States will make it very worthwhile for them in terms of the permits and everything else. But so think of it, you have an asset that has no value or has $1 trillion value. It all depends on whether or not the United States gives the permit. So what I'm saying is let the United States give the permit and the United States should get half. Sounds reasonable. What do you think?
Sounds like a good deal to me, Mr. President.
Yeah. He can afford it too. And
that guy in the background, that guy is another billionaire. He's an OG tech guy. He's one of the guys that wants to invest in curing cancer with AI. That's going to be interesting. People are freaking out about that. I'm like, I don't know what you're freaking out about. It's not like you're going to take the vaccine. It's for people with cancer. I mean, you could stick to the chemotherapy, which is literal radiation, or a new route. You know, I don't see what the problem is, but whatever. People are always going to find a problem out of anything. You know, any excuse to make a big fuss, right? So this is the problem I have with what he just said. Because people are I don't want people to think, oh my God, you're always on his side. You always agree with him. No, because I don't agree with warp speed and I don't agree with this. I don't like the idea of the United States government owning TikTok. I don't like China owning TikTok, but I don't like the US government owning TikTok either. I want a businessman to own TikTok, not governments to own TikTok. That makes me uneasy. I don't like that. I don't know. It doesn't feel right knowing that the US government is going to own a social media platform.
Government shouldn't own companies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
that's
the
not your
CIA
role.
is the CIA, the FBI is the FBI. You know, they have their own departments, but like Google's Google, Facebook is Facebook and Instagram. Elon Musk has X, which now he's gonna buy CBS, and people are losing their shit. YouTube is YouTube. Like all of these social media platforms and like information outlets and just platforms in general should not have interference or relationships with the government. Like perfect example, look at what's this robot's face, fucking Zuckerberg. Like, yo, he went off like, oh, I'm so sorry, the Democrats were pressuring me and this and this and this, and it's like, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. That's their agenda.
Yeah.
But when governments get into social media, like with the TikTok, that's already suppression of First Amendment.
Exactly.
And we have a constitution that
I
agree with. We should, not now, but later on, we should definitely update it, right? Because it's old. Just like times change and technology evolves, and we as humans, we evolve as well, and our government right now is in the process of a new evolution and a new wave. We're updating ourselves. More and more younger people are going into politics, and I feel like the last 8 years, a lot of people from multiple generations are getting into politics. And, they're starting to read, they're starting to catch up, and they're starting to learn, and they're starting to educate themselves. Back then, politics was
for
their job. A politician's job back then was to stand in front of a camera, stand in front of a group of people, and bullshit their way to make you believe that they're right and that they're saying the truth and that you can believe them and you can do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, not anymore, because now, like Elon Musk says, we are the media. You know, when back in COVID, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when they stand in front of the camera and they're like, everyone needs this, it's going to save lives, and it's going to do this and this and this, and you're like, I don't trust you, bro. Like, I don't know why we got to go down this route. So government owning TikTok, me, nah. I'm not on TikTok because for me, I have a very addictive personality, and I can sit there for hours and hours just scrolling, and like that's their job. Their job is to like
it's
get
like,
in your mind. And
I mean, think
it's a
about
learning
it.
process.
Why do you think it's called TikTok?
TikTok, waste your time.
Exactly.
Like,
it's called TikTok it's in the name. It's to literally get you to waste the time that you have, the precious time that you have into this social media. I thankfully am not I'm not an addictive person at all.
Oh, I am.
I'm addictive when it comes to things that are good for me, like working out, things that I know are like that I know are going to be good for my health, longevity. I'm addicted to that. But things that I know are bad for me, my mind won't allow me to do it. So I literally go in, I post, I get out. I go in, I post, and I'm a literal creator. You're not going to see me view. You're not going to see me scroll. I don't even go into people's stories. I don't give a crap. No offense. I don't. If I go into your story, it was by accident. When I went into your story, it came up and I was like, oh, Steven, he's having something healthy. There's a Gatorade? Steven, why are you drinking Gatorade? That is me. I was like, what are you doing? and then I told Laz, I'm like, bro, Steven just took a picture with a healthy ass meal, and then he put a Gatorade. He could have lied to us and just took a picture with with what he was eating without the Gatorade in the picture. Now I'm scolding him on camera. And then Lazarus was like, you would. And I was like, yeah, because I care about these things. But thankfully I'm not like that. But for people that are, just, I understand the whole, kids are like, it's crazy. I'm just like, yo.
Nieces and nephews that they're at the age right now where it's like, and I've had arguments with family where they're like, hey, now that you're making good money and, you're being an adult, you can afford to get your nieces and nephews, gifts. And I'm like, sure, I'll get them a bike. I'll get them this. I'll get them that. And they're like, oh, yeah, kids don't play with that anymore. Like, we want to get them we want to get them like a cell phone or an iPad. I'm like, out of your fucking mind.
Excuse you. I was like,
excuse
you.
Fucking mind. They're like, oh, no, we're all pitching in money to get an iPad. And I'm like,
no.
Hey, I know I'm the youngest in the family, but I didn't get a cell phone until like freshman year.
Yep.
So why is she getting something at 8, 9 years old?
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
An FBI
I
agent.
can't with TikTok.
An FBI agent can arrest a CIA agent, but not the other way around. An FBI agent can arrest a CIA agent.
Yeah,
but
because
a CIA
CIA is
okay.
private. It's a private organization. FBI is controlled with government.
Okay,
they're
that
federal.
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, just kidding. I thought that was somebody else. That was you. Everybody that's on Instagram, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I sound like a broken record player, but I just have to repeat myself. Go to YouTube, Mary Truth Talks. If you like what I have to say, if you like me speaking, go on there and subscribe. It takes seconds of your time. All right, so we're about to wrap up here, but honestly, I think this is going to be very interesting 4 years. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. I'm grateful for everybody that subscribed so far. This has been amazing. I literally started doing this I think it's going to be 3 months, and I've gotten a lot of people's eyeballs, so that's awesome. It means that I'm doing something right, so that's cool. People like seeing me say what I have to say, so that's cool, peeps. We're gonna continue doing this because this is gonna be fun. I am gonna get Jackie in. I am committed to. She's hiding, but I am committed to getting her on. I promise.
Get her out here.
I promise. It will happen next month. I'm very committed to it because she only gets me on TikTok and she sends me messages randomly, but she doesn't respond back to my messages. I'm just like, what the. Hello.
Do we have to wait for 4 years for Trump to get out of office?
Oh, snap. I don't know, but I will call her. It will happen. I'll make it happen. She's just freaking busy. She has a bunch of kids. that she's a mom of like.
She's got 2, right? 2, 3.
She has
2?
1 kid of her own, but she has like 2 or 3 other kids of her boyfriend. So
Good for her.
She
I
got
can't even
kids.
take care of a cat and a dog, so I don't know how I can take care of a kid.
Yeah, same here. But eventually our time will come. Whenever that will be.
It'll come one day.
It will come.
It'll come one day. I'm no rush, but it'll come.
Yeah, same here. No rush, but it will come definitely. Yo, Steven, this has been amazing. Are you public or private on Instagram?
I think I'm private, but you could go and follow me. It's at Steven Perez with 2 N's, so SCEVENN Perez. And yeah, on all social medias and everything, just Steven Perez.
Sweet. All right, so go follow Steven Perez. Follow me on Instagram, Mary_Truths, on TikTok, Mary_Truths, and if you haven't subscribed to MTT on YouTube, click that subscribe button, like, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for joining and tuning in.
Absolutely. God bless America.
Bye, guys. Thank you.